Good afternoon, my fellow warriors. It is Saturday, and let me tell you something, guys. It is beautiful. The sun is shining, there's not a cloud in the sky, and here I am. On a personal note, before I start this, I'd like to thank complete strangers and people that I barely know for coming to my aid last night. For those of you that are closely following Beautifully Damaged, I wrote about something that I haven't talked about in 19 years. I buried it. And that was my kidnapping. And I was in tremendous, terrible distress. I had to call, the crisis line here to be evaluated. If I needed extreme help at the moment, hospitalization, what did I need? I didn't know. And those select few of you that reached out to me, that came to my assistance in my time of need, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm very fond of saying that we're in this together. Our members, our membership pool, other advocates, and people suffering, we're all in this fight together. And the very few of you that came to me that I know personally, I thank you. And for those of you who did not come to my aid, and there were a lot of people that I've known for quite some time that did not, I think I need to analyze my relationship with you because it's healthy for me. It's healthy to start building healthy connections again. So, welcome to the Musings of a Scoundrel. My name is Mike. I'm the Director of Operations here at Beautifully Damaged. And I qualify everything that I'm saying as my particular claims and opinions. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm simply a mentally ill man expressing my feelings and ideas on a public forum here at Beautifully Damaged. So let's get right into it. I did a few musings, and I just couldn't find my stride. I tried, talking about toxic relationships or depression, but nothing seemed to fit. I just could not find my stride. And I think I know why. Because I'm still extremely emotional from what happened last night and yesterday afternoon. So instead of breaching a subject, I'm just going to have a conversation with everyone. I'm going to try not to ramble. But I think simply having a conversation with you today is best. Yesterday, I don't know what happened. I wasn't particularly thinking about anything, and all of a sudden this well of emotion came. I can't even say it was a well of emotion. It was more like just a thought. The thought was, wow, I was kidnapped. Nothing set me off. Nothing, I was just sitting around smoking cigarettes, drinking Coke like I usually do, and all of a sudden, bam. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to blog about this. And I didn't know how graphic I was going to get. I didn't know where to start. And I just began writing. And all of a sudden, this flood of reality came to my brain, and my brain told me, you need to write out everything. Everything. And you have to share it with the world. I don't know. Yesterday was really tough. I haven't spoken about my kidnapping to anyone. Not to my family, not to my friends, no one. I mean, my parents had a general idea of what happened, and in some cases I think they're still in denial that it happened. But that's a natural reaction. This didn't happen to him, but it did. I don't know why I decided to share it with the world. I think that in part this release of emotion needed to happen. And I told a very dear friend of mine that I just met last night, well, not that I've known for a while, but Um, I told this person that my humanity, the little shred of humanity I had, was stripped away from me. And things became clear. Why I was the way I was for so long. At first, I didn't, I just buried that particular event. I've read some articles about kidnapping and how, that has lifelong consequences. And, any rational person would understand that and acknowledge that. But I didn't. For a long time, I just buried it. And I couldn't talk about it because it was so graphically disgusting. When I wrote that blog yesterday, I was shaking. I was terrified. I was scared. I wanted to throw up. But for those of you that read it, puking gives me panic attacks. So, I just told my stomach to shut up and let me finish writing. And after I wrote it, I went into a deep depression. This emotional release that happened was overwhelming. I didn't know who to call. I didn't know what to do. My first reaction was to call crisis, and that's what I did. I took the healthy step. Talked to my wife a little bit. I sent that blog to my dad, and after I did that, I just felt ashamed, and I couldn't face him, and I didn't talk to him for the rest of the night. My wife called him and told him that I was okay. Kind of. But the shame that's involved when you're, it's terrible. And my feelings came back to that 2 weeks where all this happened. And I finally connected with my fear. For those of you that read about my kidnapping, I felt like a caged animal that was going to die in a tiny room thousands of miles away from home. And nobody should have to experience that. No one should have to be so afraid for their life. And I didn't realize how much it truly affected me. I wrote that I was thrown away in the toilet, the sewer of life, and that's very true. I believe, for the next I believe for the next 17 years of my life, I was out of my mind. Because of many events, but that kidnapping was a huge part of it. There is solace in realizing that I was created through hell. My whole childhood, my early adult years, I was created by my experience. My negative experiences, because there were too many to count. So there is a little bit of solace in knowing that I had very, 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 very little control over the things that I did and the person that I was, because I didn't receive therapy for this kidnapping. I didn't know how to express it. When I look back on those 2 weeks, I realize now how much danger I really was in. A lot of people failed me. And frankly, to be completely honest with all of you brave warriors, I didn't realize how truly, truly devastating that was to my psyche. And I still can't fathom. There are no words to describe how I feel. I'm a very descriptive person, and even I can't come up with the right words. And frankly, I don't think there are words to describe that event and the subsequent sociopath that I was for so long. There are no words. I know that I can't turn back the hands of time, but I sure would like to. I should have never gotten in that car. I should have never trusted this person as much as I did. But when you suffer from reactive attachment disorder, you reach out to people that will abuse you. I never took stock of the fact that I was damaged. And I could be damaged from this event for the rest of my life. Some people ask me if I hated this person that did this to me. No, I don't hate this person. That may come as a shock, but the truth of the matter is, when you spend your whole life hating the world, it burns you out. It burns you out, and it could kill you. I don't hate anyone. I don't react to my emotions anymore. I think about them. I think before I speak and act. Hating this person for even one more second isn't worth it. What happened, happened, and that's it. I had to accept yesterday the fact that I was a victim of kidnapping. And that's that. I don't think... I've told people that I wouldn't trade my experiences for the world because I can help somebody else now. And maybe even save a life. And that would be the pinnacle of my career as an advocate. But this experience... I don't know. I wrote that blog not only to release that particular emotional crutch, but maybe to show all of my members, myself included, that evil things can happen, but you can survive. You may survive damaged, but you can survive. And I hope that blog provided somebody with some solace, that I completely understand the fear of dying. And I understand the fear of being locked into a room and caged and, in fear of your life. I never took stock of the fact that fear is so penetrating you can't react anymore. You're simply trying to survive. And I get now, after some serious thinking, I get serious domestic violence. I understand it now that I've connected with my feelings. For those of you that were triggered by my blog, I apologize for that in advance, but it needed to be said. I decided to shut down operations yesterday to honor and remember the victims of kidnapping because it happened to me. And I finally accepted that.